Are you bringing leads in, but struggling to convert them into actual bookings on the first phone call? If so, then this video is just for you. My name is Mark Bailey, and I own a photography studio that I've had for over 15 years. In today's video, I'm going to run through the structure of a phone call that we use in our studio that converts leads into real-world clients. One of the biggest problems that we have with a lead coming through is that you may speak to the client on the first phone call and then they need to think about it, or they need to speak to their partner, or they're not quite sure, or they'll get back to you, or they're just too busy to talk to you right now, so can you phone them back? And then you will spend the rest of the week chasing that client and never get to speak to them again. So it's really important that we try and convert as many of our leads on the first phone call. And it's very simple. It comes down to trust. Does the client trust you enough to book in with you? Now, any sort of lead starts a lot further back with your offer and your advertising that you're doing. Now, whether that's paid advertising or whether you're using social media and referrals, that has to be spot on. That then gets their attention. Now, my opinion is when a lead comes in, they've seen your pictures, they've seen your advert, they've seen your offer, they want to book. So if you then speak to them and they don't book in, the issue's with you. I don't mean that in a harsh way, but where did it fall down? Where was the trust broken? Now, don't get me wrong. They may just not be your client. You may have things in place like we do, like a deposit, which helps filters out the vultures. Those that are out there circling around looking for the freebies. And it's important that we do filter them out and that we realize that not every person is our client. We want to spend our time on those who have a very good average spend as opposed to being a busy fool and servicing absolutely everyone. There's no need to. So you have your offer. The lead then comes in and you need to collect that lead. So where's that going to go? Is that just going into your inbox? Are you just checking DMs, comments, your email? For us, we have a CRM that works extremely well and it grabs all of our leads from everywhere. It grabs them from Facebook, it grabs them from Instagram, any emails that are sent, anything from our website forms, they all come in to the same pipeline. Our pipeline is fantastic because then we can track absolutely every lead and we know how many phone calls they've had, what's been said to them, what they've said to us, and any other details like family member names and things like that. That's really important that you get yourself a real good CRM. Next, once that lead comes through, how do you deal with it? Now, you may think, oh, I'll just do it all through messages. That's okay. However, you will lose so many bookings if you do that. Everything relies on the phone call. So any sort of advert, any sort of correspondence, any sort of lead forms that you have, it's important that you're getting a phone number so you can phone that client and speak to them. There's also an element of that when you speak to your client, you need to educate them so that they have a little bit of a better understanding of what's involved and also a rough idea of what the cost is going to be. Now, keep in mind, nobody's going to value what you do until they come in and experience it. Once they experience it, the value goes through the roof. Until then, you're competing on price with everybody else. And this is why it's important that you get a phone call, not doing it through messages, because so much can be lost in translation and taken out of context when it's done on text messaging, emails, WhatsApp, or however it is that you do it. So with our phone call, let's break down the structure on this. The first part is your intro. Now, I'm sure you've all had it. You pick up the phone, you dial a new lead, the client answers, and you tell them, hi, it's Mark Bailey from so-and-so studio, how are you? And the response is something along the lines of, oh, hi, I'm too busy right now, could you call me back? Or, sorry, where are you calling from? Oh, right, I don't have time to talk right now. Can I phone you later today? Now, this is a really important part. We track all of this in our studio, and I suggest you do the exact same thing. We have a daily call tracker sheet, which if you want a copy of it, drop a comment and I will get one over to you for free. Now, the tracker sheet tracks all of our calls. And if we have a client or a lead that we're speaking to and they pick up the phone but then tell us they're too busy to talk to us, then in my opinion, they were not that busy that they were able to answer the phone. It's when they then found out who you were that you were no longer a priority to them and that call can wait until another time. And then you'll not get a hold of them again because now they know your phone number, they know who you are, they do intend to speak to you, just not right now. And before you know it, you phone them enough times that they become a dead lead, or you phone them too many times and you become a nuisance. The thing is that You're not doing anything wrong. They've said they'll call me back or I'll speak to you tomorrow. But then life just gets in the way and it's not a right time right now. Think about it. You're watching this video because you're busy. If your phone rings right now, do you really need to take that phone call if it's not all that important? So when it comes to your intro, you want to test different things. People are busy. Keep that in mind. So when you answer the phone, when the client answers the phone, you want to let them know it's not going to take too long. Try something along the lines of, oh, hi, it's Mark Bailey. I'm calling from X Studios. I'm just giving you a very quick call because you've applied for our X offer. I can quickly explain it to you and get you all booked in. Should take around about a minute or so. That'll keep the client engaged on the phone. Now, whenever we're on the phones, we always have two different opening intros and we split test them. So the first call will get the intro I've just said then. The next call might get something on the lines of, oh, hi, it's Mark from X Studios. I'm so glad I've managed to get a hold of you. Thank you for applying for the offer. The response has been overwhelming. I'll just quickly explain it to you, get you booked in. It'll take a minute or so. So I've got two little intros now. Both of them use an urgency, both of them letting them know it will only take a minute or so, but I'll have open A and open B. And what I will do is the first phone call today gets this one. The second phone call gets that one. The third one gets this one. The second call gets that one. And I'll do that all day until I can see a clear winner. And then that, which say option A was the winner, tomorrow, that will stay option A. I'll not change it, but I'll have a new option B. And then I'll do the same again. Whichever one is the winner becomes option A on day 3. And so on. And as time goes on, you'll end up with a really good, strong, open intro that keeps people on the phone with you. Now, once they're on the phone with you, you know it's not taking a minute, but that client will be engaged with you at this point. And if the conversation is going well, they'll not want to come off it. Now, if they are genuinely busy and they don't have more than a couple of minutes, they will tell you, listen, I'm interested, can I just later on? And that's completely fine. But your intro is so important that you don't just burn through your leads. Like I've seen with many previous members of staff that have worked for me, they will just pick up the phone. Hi, it's so-and-so from X Studio. Okay, no worries. Lead. Next lead, burn through them. Because eventually, law of averages, one of them will say, oh yeah, fantastic, let's go. I'm free to talk right now. And you know, that burn through your leads and end up making you spend a lot more on your marketing to get through the door. Now, you've got them on the phone. What happens next? So the next thing we do in our phone call structure is we will go through the offer. And we will explain what the offer is. Once we've gone through this, during this offer, we will make an emphasis on how great an offer it is for them. Whether, you know, it's the offer we did last week or the one we're going to do next week, it's a great offer. So we'll go through that. We'll then explain about the deposit. I strongly advise you ask for a deposit. It gets a level of commitment off your client to make sure they're going to turn up and not waste your time. On top of that, filters out your vultures. After we explain the deposit, we will then go through the type of session that they're inquiring about. And it is our favorite type of session, regardless. We need to sell the session. We've got to get an emotional journey going on and get that emotional peak so they want to book with us. Once we've got that emotional peak and we're all excited, I'll then look at the calendar and go, the next thing is to get you booked in. So then we'll get them a date, and we don't offer any day they want at any time. Even if, say, Thursday next week is completely empty, we don't say, what time do you want? You know, we've got this here, you know, every available. We'll go, I have this one or that one. Give them 2 options and 2 options only. This helps take away a deciding factor that may make them go away thinking, oh, I need to think about this. I need to speak to my partner. Or if we just give them a morning or an afternoon, they will know straight away whether their partner is available in the morning or the afternoon. Once we've got that in, we then ask for that commitment and we take their deposit. That has to be asked with affirmative wording. I don't know the kind of the phrases I need to use for that, but you need to ask it with confidence. Any sort of doubt, any sort of, you know, to pay now, you will get a no. So ask it with confidence. Once you've got that, they're then booked into your calendar or your CRM system like ours. And then you need to nurture and follow up that client between that point all the way up to them coming in for their session. Now, again, if you've got a CRM like we do, we can automate all of that. So they will get a confirmation email straight away. They'll get emails with frequently asked questions. They'll get the map sent to them so they know where they're coming. They will also, get a call from the photographer because we'll have a prompt that pops up to go, oh, you need to phone this client today. And then the photographer can speak to them and get them excited and make sure that they know what to wear, what to expect when they come, and to make sure we get the best from their session. That is the structure of a phone call, and it works so well for us. You definitely have to track your conversion rates, and our tracker sheets track the pickup rate. They track the call rate, how many calls are being made per half hour. They track how many of those calls are getting picked up, and then they track how many of those conversations we have actually convert into a booking. Now, with that sort of data, we're then able to go, okay, if we X amount of bookings this month, then I need this many leads. And if I want this many leads, this is going to cost me this much on marketing, and then I can budget away with that. Every single step that I've gone through there is really important, and there's a lot involved with each step. There's also the pricing question, because pricing is going to come up and you've got to be confident when you answer that. That is a full video in itself. In fact, every single step that we've gone through there, I'm going to make a video on every single one in a lot more detail. So give us a like and subscribe and follow, and you'll see in the next videos that I'm releasing, I'm going to go through every single one of these steps in a lot of detail. You follow all of these and you will be able to get that booking on the first phone call. I'm also going to run through our visualization that we use with our clients. So during the phone call, as we're having a conversation with them, we'll start to get the client to visualize where wall art is going to go in their house. And if we can get them to do that, when the client comes into the studio, they are already buying things in their head. It makes the sale process so much easier. And let's face it, that's what it's all about, putting money in your pocket. I hope you found this useful, and if you've got any comments, please pop them down. If you want one of our call tracker sheets, just put a comment down and I'll get that over to you. Have a great day, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.